In this video, if you're considering to move to Arkansas, you're looking to make that committed move, and you need to know exactly how much it costs to live in this state, I'm going to be breaking down the exact housing costs to the groceries to the utility and see how much every dollar can get you to live in this state. Welcome back, guys. My name is Cody. I'm with EXP. In today's video, I'm going to be going in exact depth on how much it costs to live in this state. I previously made a video on how much it costs to live in Little Rock or in Arkansas in general. In this video, I want to go a little bit deeper on how much it necessarily costs to live in Arkansas or basically Little Rock. It don't even matter in general. We're going to be talking about all those different cities in this one video. And I also made a video, everything you need to know about Arkansas. That's just a tip of the iceberg type of, how much it costs to live in Arkansas. But in this video, I'm going to be diving deep into how much it really costs to live in this state. People say this is the cheapest state. We're going to find out today if that's really true or not. So be sure to follow all my social medias. If you're looking to relocate in Arkansas, like most of my clients do, come here often asking all these questions about Arkansas, how much it costs to live here, what's the average price point or housing cost in Little Rock, Benton, Bryant, Fayetteville, Hot Springs in general. So if you're looking to relocate to Arkansas, be sure to contact me down below. My email and my phone number is available in the description below. So without further ado, guys, let's jump right into the video. So number one, like I mentioned last time, let's go ahead and get the housing costs out the way. Average price point in Little Rock, like I mentioned in my previous videos, is around $200,000 to $230,000 mark. Arkansas is one of the most affordable states out there. I mentioned in my previous video, if it's not Arkansas, it's Texas. But the overall statewide, whether you live in Benton, Fayetteville, Hot Springs, any part of the city in Arkansas, the average home prices in Arkansas is around the $200,000 mark. And we're not talking about new construction. We're talking about the average home pricing. So a lot of people come here to retire. A lot of people come here for first-time home buyers. It's a really good state for first-time home buyers. Like I said, it's very affordable. You can literally go buy a house with the mortgage, the same mortgage payment as a rent payment, which I probably wouldn't recommend renting. So, you're basically providing your landlord with equity when you can literally be building equity yourself. But a lot of people say that Arkansas is their number one choice to retire. But when it comes to this state, there's not a lot to do, and there's not a lot of mainly opportunities. So if you're really coming to Arkansas to look for a cheaper state, this is the state for you. This is the number one state. I wouldn't say number one, but this is one of these states that's like one of the cheapest states out there. And to touch back on the rent basis or the mortgage basis, the average rent or mortgage basis here is around about $1,100. So think about that, guys. If you go into another state, think about the last time you paid $1,100 on rent for a mortgage or a rent for a tiny little apartment. You probably won't even get you that in New York or some stuff. But think about paying $1,100 for a full house in Arkansas. You can only get it in Arkansas. You may get it in Texas or some other states like Oklahoma, those cheaper states. But in Arkansas, mainly a place that everybody naturally gravitates towards to when it comes to cheap properties. Now, we're only talking about Little Rock here. Let's talk about Fayetteville that I didn't mention in my previous videos. The average home prices in Fayetteville ranges from around $300,000, so close to that $230,000 mark. But Fayetteville is more of a higher quality community. Not only do the hogs go up there, but there's a lot of events that happen up there, like supercar events that I mentioned in my previous video. There's a lot of events that I didn't necessarily get to go to, but if you guys can search it up, there literally will be parades up there. They almost do a little bit more than Little Rock, but Little Rock is more of a bigger city than Fayetteville. But Fayettille is kind of the heart of Arkansas, if you can put it like that. I mean, regarding sports team, it is the heart of Arkansas, which makes it a more higher value, a higher quality place to live. But overall, Fayetteville is more of a higher community versus if it was Benton or Bryant. Same thing when it comes to communities, but when it comes to home prices, they're kind of similar. The average home prices in Benton is around the $300,000 mark because that's mostly Benton and Bryant's mainly new construction type of towns. Because if you literally go to Benton or Bryant or deep into those sections, you're gonna see pretty nice houses with a lot of acreage, with a lot of newly constructed homes, because Bend is more of a, up and coming city. As I mentioned in my previous videos, you guys, if you go to Bend, you're gonna see exactly what I'm talking about. Bend is not that big. Bryant is not that big of a town either. Mainly the biggest city is obviously Little Rock here, but everybody naturally would probably gravitate towards Bend whenever they're looking for acreage. They'd rather look for that Fayetteville, Bend, Bryant type of areas. And on top of that, let's move on to Hot Springs. Hot Springs is, guys, I mentioned in this previous video, it's more of a touristic town. And living in Hot Springs can be kind of a tricky situation, or in terms of price wise, because living in Hot Springs can cost a little bit more than Fayetteville or Little Rock combined. Because if you're living near the downtown area, I mean, obviously it's going to cost a little bit more. You're living near Lake Hamilton, especially those properties on Lake Hamilton, they can cost you around about $500,000, and literally can go up to the $1 million price point because they're lakefront properties. But other than that, if it's not lakefront properties in Hot Springs, a lot of people that I necessarily don't come around don't necessarily choose to live in Hot Springs. They normally would choose to live in Bend, Bryant, or Little Rock. I personally have seen a lot of people rather choose to live in Little Rock than Fayetteville because how cheap Little Rock is. Fayetteville, like I mentioned, is more of a high quality type of city. It's still small compared to Bend and Bryant, but in overall terms of price point, which is more affordable, guys, is obviously Little Rock, and a little bit in Bryant too. Bryant, don't keep in mind, Bryant and Bend still has a lot of new construction. Same can go for Fayetteville. Fayetteville is still up and coming. And also Hot Springs. I mean, Hot Springs is more of a touristic town. I mean, not a lot of construction, and a lot of new people are looking to live there. They're looking to go there probably once every weekend, or once every month, because there's a lot to do in Hot Springs, more than Little Rock. But in terms of living down there, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it because it's just a lot of tourists comes down there, so which makes it a little bit more expensive to live over there. So yeah, so really the most expensive parts of Arkansas are really the Bend and Fayetteville area. Number 2, let's talk about utilities and essentials. I didn't necessarily go through this a lot in my previous videos where I talked about how much does it cost to live in Arkansas. So let's dive a little bit deeper when it comes to utilities cost here. Arkansas is generally lower than most states, if I'm not corrected. Guys, I've been to multiple states. I've seen what utilities are like. I wouldn't say, I mean, I've been to Texas, guys. I've been to some other states, and I don't want to say it's almost the exact same, but there is a huge difference when it comes to utility costs. And the average utility cost in Little Rock, for example, is around the $150 to $200 range, and that's just for just water. Your average water, heat, air, and all that stuff. Internet obviously is affordable here, ranging from $50 to $70. Just for anybody to use. I mean, who really cares about that? You know who you're going to get, so there's really not too much to dive deep into that. But overall, the whole point of this is what I really want to talk about is that it's just the utilities here are overall just cheaper. But compared to other cities, like obviously Fayetteville, Hot Springs, and Bend, they're all relatively the same. I mean, depending if you are living in Bend, you are going to have your own septic tank. So me personally, I'm under city water. So when it comes to septic tanks, that's a whole different story, because I believe you are paying a little bit more when it comes to those sewage lines, with having your own like little community sewage lines and all that stuff. So it could genuinely be a little bit different. But besides all the internet and all that stuff, but like I said, guys, we are actually, one of the cheapest utility states, like I mentioned earlier. So it ranges around $150 to $200. So if you're looking to have lower housing costs, lower utilities, Little Rock will be the place for you. Now, that's other than utilities. Let's talk about transportation. In my last video, I mentioned that there's not a lot of transportation options in here other than just riding a bike, going to the bus, all that stuff, because it's not like it's like New York or like Miami or California where it's just consistent taxis, all that stuff that you see all in the movies, or you see other people's lives. But Arkansas, we don't have all that. All we have is mainly bus transportation. It's really mainly on foot transportation, or mainly just riding the bus. If you don't have your own car, mainly everything will be on foot. If it's not Uber, it's on foot. If it's not any of those, is mainly bus transportation. We don't have a lot of transportation here, so if you're coming to this state or you're looking to rely on all those transportation, just be very aware that we don't have those things. So if you're coming from a big city looking to have subways and all that stuff, we don't have that. Scratch that off your checklist. We don't have those, so go ahead and tag those out. We don't have a lot of transportation here. Gas is cheaper too. Gas is around $2.70 versus California, which is about $5 or some. So like back in 2020 when the gas prices were damn near $10, here in Arkansas it's around that $4 to $5 mark. Even though that's still relatively high, people like they gravitate towards these cheaper states to get gas. Not saying that you're going to drive to another state to get gas, but they're just comparing that, like California's gas was like $10, and here during the pandemic it was just cheaper. That shows an example that this is overall a cheaper state. Next up, we're going to be talking about taxes. Taxes here is a big thing. We pay a lot of property tax. In some other states you don't have to pay those, so we do have a lot of property tax here. So keep that in mind for investors or anybody who's looking to relocate to Arkansas. I had a lot of clients ask me about the taxes here. So here I'm finally going to give you guys those information. So one thing to keep in mind about Arkansas is that the taxes ranges from 2% to 5.5% of property taxes. However, that is quite low from other states, but compared to other states, which is a bit higher, some states may have a bit higher rate, more like 4%, 7%. It depends on really what state you want to live in. Some states, like I said, don't necessarily have property taxes. Like I think Florida or Texas don't have property. No, it was Texas. Texas don't have property taxes. So especially if you want to move to a cheaper state, obviously we're going to have to sacrifice by paying property taxes. If it's not Texas, a lot of people move here. I mean, this is a pretty cheaper state than Texas, but Texas doesn't have property taxes because of the population, or I probably need to do a little more research, but I'm only sticking to Arkansas though. But property taxes here pretty cheap. You still got to pay them. It's not that state where you can't just miss out on property taxes. So really my investors really need that information, because I have a lot of investors coming out of state to invest into Little Rock, and they're always asking about the property taxes, or what's the income rate when it comes to Arkansas. Lastly, we're going to be talking about lifestyle. So basically, I mentioned, guys, in so many of my videos, if you guys weren't paying attention, Arkansas doesn't have a lot of opportunity when it comes to wanting to be something, or wanting to play for a professional team, or get close to playing for a professional team. Sorry, if you want to get into that level, Fayetteville will be the place for you, because like I mentioned, Fayetteville is the home of the Hogs. And really, I especially their baseball team really gets very seen, because I know a lot of pro players that went pro just playing on the baseball team. Now when it comes to football, I don't know, that's at your own risk, because our football team, it's okay. But other than that, if you want to be have a good scholarship to come to Arkansas to be something, to go pro in the league, Fayetteville is someplace you really need to focus on, or UCA or UALR. But other than that, really Arkansas just offers just little to none, because Arkansas is still a growing state. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of new opportunities that come to this state, and don't overlook it, because a lot of this state is getting, especially Little Rock is really getting noticed from other, when it comes to rapping, or when it comes to a lot of opportunities, this state is getting more recognition. But other than all the obviously opportunities that other big cities have, what this state does have is a lot of nature opportunities, a lot of places to go hike, there's a lot of places to go fishing. We have an Arkansas River you can go ride a boat down. That's probably something I still want to do, but there's a lot to do when it comes to the state. A lot of hunting opportunities. It's deer season, it's duck season, even though I don't know not a clue about those, but you get the point. Arkansas is basically a natural state that if you're looking to get more involved in those opportunities, Arkansas is the state for you. Guys, I have friends who love to go duck hunting, and they love the state. They love this state. And me, like I said earlier, I have no clue about nothing about no duck hunting, no deer hunting. They love the state, especially around the Bryant and Benton area. So that is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the little, basically a part 2 or a little deeper dive on how much it costs to live in Arkansas in general. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Would you move to Arkansas, or would you stay in the state you're living in right now? Would you invest into the state? Would you move here? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're looking to relocate like the others have been questioning me with these questions, and looking to relocate to Arkansas, be sure to contact me down below in the description so that we can create a plan to get you to move to Arkansas for the better opportunities or the cheaper opportunities you're looking for. Again, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Let's get it.